All right. Hey guys, welcome to day 5 of our Smart Start. And the topic for today is the art of forming and inviting. Forming is actually an acronym, and I'll go into that in a little bit. But this is really about the art of communication and how to communicate um, virtually through Messenger and text and things along those lines, and how to get to know people. I know we're all social people. We all know how to interact with people. We know how to socialize. But sometimes when people become coaches, they can kind of lose their sense of how to interact with people because they're thinking in the back of their mind, I've got to send an invite. Okay. But we're going to throw that out the window as far as that in the back of my mind, I've got to invite. Okay. Um, you have to remember this is number one rule. You are a human first, and that is primary. You are not a Beachbody coach first. You're a human first, and you want to get to know the person, and that's of utmost importance. So your goal is to establish relationships with others, and that's part of that first we talked about yesterday with the 4 vital behaviors. When we connect to people, this is that connection piece. Okay, people are people, and we are in a helping business. We're not in a selling business. Of course, we make sales and things like that, but our goal and our why has to be with helping other people. Okay, and establishing those relationships are really important. So, first kind of rule of thumb is don't put any pressure on the conversation. Make sure that it's a conversation that is genuine, and focused on something that maybe you have in common with that person. Maybe you saw something on Facebook, they posted back to school picture of their child, or something they're doing fun with their family, or something fun they did over the weekend. You can send them a quick message and say, oh my gosh, your kids are so cute. I just wanted to say hello. How have you been? Something along those lines. And the goal right now is to send at least 3 of those per day, just connections. Okay. They're not invites yet. They are just connecting with people. So you're going to start with your warm market. We talked about this on an Emerald call a while back, but your warm market are the people that you know that are life. Maybe they're coworkers, they're friends, they're family members, they're cousins, they're, people that you see fairly regularly, that you're going to start with those people to say hello. Let the conversations flow. Sometimes they're going to die out, and that's fine. Because again, we're reconnecting, and we're not putting that pressure on for that invite. Okay. So our motive right now is just to start the conversation. Again, when comments come through, or what, maybe they're not active on social media. In that case, you can still send them a message and just say, hey, I was thinking about you. How have you been handling back to school? I'm just saying back to school because we're going back to school. How have things been going? Are you guys virtual, or are you online? Think about what you could say to them to engage them in a conversation, to reconnect with the intention of connecting with them. And make it short, 1 to 2 sentences. Always end with a question so that you can maintain that conversation going. That dialogue is really important. It's really, really a big don't. Don't show up and throw up, which means don't, say, hey, how's it going? Hey, I'm doing this challenge group and blah, 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 and a long message. People tend to read the first couple sentences and they're like, want to make it short, sweet, to the point, question at the end. Okay. So what happens when you're engaging in these conversations with people? Facebook will notice that. They notice that you're messaging with somebody, and they change their algorithm so that that other person will start to see your content on their newsfeed more regularly. They're going to see that you're working out, you're losing weight, you're toning up, whatever. You're having fun with your coaches. They're going to see that you're making an income. Okay, so that's why that posting is really important. They're going to start noticing it on their newsfeed, and it will show up more for them. So what happens next? Those conversations you've been having with them, it will be good time once you start noticing that, especially if they're commenting or liking. You might say, hey, I know this is kind of crazy. I've got this new group coming up. It should be a lot of fun. Would you be interested in checking it out, this new fitness group? Keep it light. Don't word vomit on them because they don't need to know all the information yet. You're going to get the information to them eventually, but just focus on it, keeping short and sweet. But after you've had conversation, you've engaged in conversation, Facebook starts seeing it, then they start seeing your stuff in the newsfeed. They know what's going on, and then you are able to kind of send that invite out. So what happens next is this forming process. Let me tell you what forming stands for, and then I'll go into detail. Family, occupation, recreation, and your message. So the forming process is really getting to know their need before you can offer their solution. So when you send that, what I said before was, hey, I know this is crazy. I got a group coming up. Would you be interested? And they might say, oh yeah, I've really, been struggling with toning, and I'm not really sure how to do that. My gym's closed, whatever. And you might be tempted to say, well, I've got this really cool new program. Let's do this one. Blah, 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 blah. Ask questions. Say, tell me, what have you been doing? What kind of workouts have you been doing? Have you been working out? And they might say, oh, I used to go to the gym, but my gym closed and I went to these classes. And then you might say, oh yeah, I can completely relate to that. Driving to the gym for me, even when they were open, wasn't feasible with my kids. So I do these home workouts. You could say, tell me what kind of classes you went to or whatever. And they'll say, oh, I did kickboxing. I really loved those classes and I really miss that. And you could say, oh, that's awesome. I love kickboxing too. I did a program before called F.O.R.M.ing. What are your goals? What would you want to accomplish through this process? So you're already kind of dripping in some information, like F.O.R.M. or 10 rounds. You already kind of know what kind of workout style they have when you're asking these questions. And they might say, I want to lose like 7 pounds. I'm just throwing a random number up. And, like I said, tone up. And we say, oh, that's an awesome goal. How about nutritionally? What are some of your nutritional goals? And they might say, oh, I really need to stop eating snacks at 2 o'clock. So that there's a time of day that they're struggling with cravings. So you're getting information, which is going to help you give them a good solution. Okay. It's not like a one size fit all. So you're already thinking maybe bevy would be a good thing for them, or maybe beach bars would be a good snack that they could add into their day. And so you're going to continue this conversation going, again, 1 to 2 sentences, end with a question. You're giving a little information, asking a question. And then at the end, you could say, and along the way, you're also asking these questions about, you want to incorporate the family, occupation, recreation. Those are important things. The final thing is the message, which is the final invite or the final, like, this is an idea. So this challenge group, you could say, oh, that's awesome. It sounds like you really want to lose 7 pounds. You want to tone up. You have some cravings that you struggle with a little bit. We have some really great, or I have some ideas for you. Would you be game to hear about it? Sure, great. And then you could share about 10 rounds or quarter force, just from this example. You could say, oh, we also have, I have some great ideas with your nutrition, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, Shakeology curbs those things. So you're going to start offering these options. Again, don't word vomit. Keep them short and sweet. And so that they're not having to read a long paragraph, which most of the time they won't do that. So again, the goal is to find their need before you do their message. So it's a long conversation. I mean, it's going to take time. You have to be patient. That's where I think sometimes people think, I did 5 invites today and I got nothing back. Well, that's not how it works. You got to form them. You got to create that relationship. You got to learn about their family, what they do for a living, what things they do for fun. Get to know them, find out what their need is, and really, really dig deep, ask lots of questions, show interest. And then we could be able to have a solution for them. I mean, we really do have everything that people need. So offer it to them or find out what it is. Okay. So your homework for today is I would like you to reach out to 5 people to start 5 conversations. Okay, it can be based on things you're seeing in your newsfeed. It could be based on, someone you've been thinking about and you want to reach out to. Start with your warm market and just reach out to say hello. Again, always ask a question at the end. If you have any questions, you know where to reach us. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.